Yan. Next, the second ministry of charity is evangelization. Jesus is not loved because he is not known. We are convinced that there is no act of charity as perfect as that of helping our neighbor to love God. Therefore, we spend ourselves with untiring generosity in the various forms of evangelization. Our charism, the greatest love of Christ crucified, gives us the grace to be very zealous in this holy exercise in the Church, so that Christ may be the heart of the world. Called to break the bread of the Word of God, we collaborate with the pastors of the Church, other religious and lay people, so that every person may encounter Jesus, who is the only answer to every question of the human heart. So the first community catering with much emphasis on this second ministry of charity is San Jose City, Nueva Ecija Pastoral Community. So northward, the Canossian Sisters have been in San Jose City, Nueva Ecija since 1989. Bishop Leo Drona, former Bishop of San Jose, invited them to help in the newly established diocese. So the sisters are involved in coordinating diocesan ministries like evangelization through formation of catechists and lay leaders, and also health ministry through community-based health programs or CBHP, and even ministry to indigenous peoples or IP through organization of tribal communities and formation of core leaders. Self-help and income-generating projects were established. The Bakita herbs and teas, which produce turmeric and ginger teas, is thriving and a big help to women involved in its production and to the indigenous people who supply the raw materials from their farm, like the ginger. Next is Kiangan Community. Kiangan Ifugao Pastoral Community was officially established in the year 2004 after having been a satellite community, meaning it's still connected to the community of sisters in San Jose City, Nueva Ecija since 2000. So it is actively involved in the formation of the catechists in the Catholic schools of Bontoc, Lagawe, assistance in the BECs or Basic Ecclesial Communities, and youth ministry. So sisters are also teaching catechesis in public elementary schools, like what we are doing here, even if we are prioritizing the education ministry, but we are also reaching out to some public schools for catechesis. So they do also that there in the remote mountainous places along the beautiful rice terraces. It also supports some scholars from grade school to college. Next is the Gumaka community in Quezon Province, and it was officially established on May 8, 2015. So we can recall May 8 is the institution foundation anniversary. So it's the ecclesial feast of the institute. After 3 years of exploration and discernment, on the invitation of Most Reverend Buenaventura Famadico in 2012, for their apostolic assistance as coordinators in the diocesan ministries of youth and family and life. The sisters have been actively involved in the formation of the youth groups in the different parishes and in family and life apostolate. In 2017, the diocese asked for another service as administrator of a parochial school the Most Holy Rosary Parochial School in Lopez, Quezon. So we also have sisters there who are administering that private school, though not ours, but it's of the parish. So we still extend our service as long as we can. So since we are also catering education naman, so we do that even if the school is not ours. So next is Talibon Bohol Pastoral Community. So Bishop Christian Vicente Noel, former Bishop of Talibon Bohol, requested the Canossian Sisters in 1995 to assist in the diocesan youth ministry. After some ocular visits and immersion in the diocese, a community was formed on May 4, 1996. So after a year, they were requested to assist in diocesan family and life apostolate. So for more than a year, they rented a house near the cathedral until they transferred to the new convent in Barangay San Isidro, Talibon. So the sisters also started other ministries of charity, like the scholarship program for children of poor families in the vicinity, and they gathered the scholars and their parents during weekends for catechesis with human and spiritual formation. So the multi-purpose hall, meron tayo doon, in the Canossian premises was built to accommodate both the children and the youth during their formation sessions and gatherings. So presently, the youth has named this group as Talio for Talibon Youth, as community of young servants living with Christian values, responding to the signs of the times, like moral, environmental, and social, to build community of communities, all for the glory of God's kingdom and the sanctification of all. Next is Don Carlos Community in Bukidnon. It was established in 1979, and it is the first Canossian community in Mindanao. The Canossian sisters were invited to the Diocese of Malaybalay by Bishop Francisco Claver to help in the administration of Loyola High School in Don Carlos until it has developed capable lay partners for the administrative position. Later, they were also involved in parochial work. Presently, a sister still serves the school as a guidance counselor, while the other sisters dedicate more time in the evangelization ministry to the poor through catechesis in public schools, facilitating recollections and team-building activities to various groups, especially the youth. They also have Santa Infancia scholarship program to children from poor families, where they meet weekly for formation of parents and scholars, feeding and tutoring. Okay. So next is Malaybalay Bukidnon Pastoral Community. So the former Bishop of Malaybalay, Most Reverend Gaudencio Rosales, now Bishop Emeritus of Lipa, invited the Canossian sisters to open a house in Malaybalay City in 1992. The sisters were called to coordinate the youth ministry of the diocese. Since then, the sisters have been engaged in the formation of young people through the Diocesan Commission on Youth, Parish Youth Ministry Program, and Campus Ministry. In 1994, Canossa Youth Formation Center was constructed as a venue of youth gathering and formation activities like the famous Youth Encounter and even Youth Encounter Facilitator Seminar Workshops or YEFSW Leadership Training, retreats, and recollection, Tezay prayer, and other forms of spiritual formation of Bukidnon youth or Bukyo. And it is also open to regional youth formation, meetings, and gatherings. Since year 2000, a sister has been assigned in San Isidro College or SIC in the administrative position and in supervising religious instruction in this diocesan college. Okay, so we are now on the third ministry of charity, which is the care for the sick. We continue the loving attention of Magdalene for the sick, the living images of Christ Himself, and we are ready, if necessary, to expose our lives in the exercise of holy charity. We visit the sick to assist and comfort them with respect for their own beliefs, helping them to understand the redemptive value of suffering. In doing so, we bear witness that the Lord is close to them when they are weak and ill. We help those who are recovering from illness to renew their trust in God and in life, and with gentleness and prudence, prepare those who are close to death for their final encounter with the Father. From our Rule of Life, number 57. So the first among the communities who give emphasis on this ministry of charity is the Canossa Health and Social Center, Tondo, Manila. So the Canossian Sisters Ministry in Tondo, among the poorest of the poor, began in 1971 during those times of restlessness, activism, and political power struggle in the country. So assisting the PIME fathers in their parochial work among the families in Magsaysay Village, Vitas and Velasquez, they gather the people for the Eucharistic celebration and catechetical instruction to children and adults, put up feeding program for malnourished children, and health education for their mothers. In 1979, Canossa Health and Social Center was established. What followed through the years has been an extensive, holistic service of love and upliftment of the poor, dear to the very heart of Saint Magdalene of Canossa. So massive poverty in the Philippines drove individuals and families from the far-flung provinces to migrate in Tondo to look for a greener pasture. So the Tondo area has always been the favored place of residence of migrants from provinces. As the population ballooned and the area became congested, some residents left Tondo for other places, but the majority of the migrants stayed behind. So Canossa Health and Social Center is situated at Magsaysay Village, Tondo, Manila, and home to squatter families living in tight clusters of dilapidated houses. The Sisters Ministry among the poorest of the poor began in 1971 while assisting the PIME fathers in their parish work. It aims for an integral development of the person through evangelization and pastoral activities, integral promotion of the person, and assistance to the sick and suffering. In 1984, when a big number of homes in Tondo were demolished and families were relocated in Bulihan, Silang, Cavite, the Canossian Sisters from Tondo organized a mobile clinic together with the German doctors and volunteer health workers. So the initial purpose of which was to follow up the patients afflicted with tuberculosis for monitoring and continuity of medications, which they started in Tondo. So for some years, the sisters traveled from Tondo to Bulihan to assist the families in their various needs. On April 28, 1991, Bulihan Community was officially established to make permanent the health and social assistance to the former slum dwellers from Tondo, as well as from other places in the Bulihan resettlement area, and to assist in the evangelizing mission of the nearby parish, which is the Risen Christ Parish. through establishment of clinic, children's nutrition, maternal health care, skills training, and income-generating projects. The programs and services offered, which have evolved through the years from TB DOTS program, include outpatient department or OPD or clinic and laboratory services, dental clinic, pharmaceutical services, therapeutic massage clinic, mental health, hospice and palliative care, Hapag-asa feeding program, and educational assistance programs. So this was the immersion of the grade 12 VMFR last March 15, 2024 in Canosa, Bulihan. The first Canosian sisters from the Philippines came to Papua New Guinea on September 15, the feast day of Our Lady of Sorrows, year 1992, upon the invitation of the late Archbishop Peter Coronco in the Archdiocese of Port Moresby. The sisters were mandated for two particular works of evangelization in the Archdiocese. First, coordinating the religious education program and providing health care services to the poor at St. Therese Clinic, Hohola, and in the settlement areas around Port Moresby. Presently, the Canosian Sisters in PNG Mission are actively engaged in the health ministry with healthcare services in Port Moresby that extend to the far-flung villages at Rigo District, Central Province, with the assistance of the village health volunteers and lay Canosians. So we are done with the third ministry of charity. Let's go now to the fourth ministry of charity, which is the formation of the lay apostolate. To promote the spread of the glory of God, we form lay people called by God to dedicate themselves to the apostolate, especially in the field of education, catechesis, and charitable works, so that they may become guides and animators in the ecclesial community and in society. So this ministry is present in all the Canosian communities. So these are some of the pictures of our sisters together with our lay Canosians. They are not sisters like us, but they also help us in carrying out the mission through the 5 ministries of charity. So most of them are married and they live with their families, but they come to the convent for regular formation, and also of trying to know in a deeper way the Canosian spirituality. So they don't have the veil, but they are like us because they try to live out the Canosian spirituality, and also they carry out the mission. So in Santa Rosa, we have a lot of lay Canosians here, and we are so blessed to have them as our partners in the mission. Okay, so next is spiritual exercises. Who would think that this forested area in Tagaytay 4 decades ago is now a commercial highway with edifices that have increased in volume and height and depth, welcoming hundreds and thousands of retreatants, prayer groups, families, or individual persons in total solitude. The Canossa House of Spirituality in Tagaytay City was opened in 1984 as a place of prayer and solitude to persons from different walks of life who desire a deep encounter with God. It is a place of solitude amidst breathtaking sceneries, comfortable rooms, dormitories, chapels, prayer rooms, refectories, and such facilities that enable retreatants to enjoy rest, nourishment, and above all, prayerful encounter with the Lord. Priests, religious, students, professional groups, and church organizations come to the Canossa House of Spirituality for spiritual renewal. The sisters are engaged in welcoming its guests or facilitating recollections and retreats. And in the field of evangelization, since 2013, when the nearby pastoral community in Magallanes, Cavite, was closed, the Canossa House of Spirituality Sisters community has continued the pastoral work there in Nuestra de Guia Parish in Magallanes. So, through the fifth ministry of charity, which is spiritual exercises, we offer opportunities or times for spiritual encounter with the Lord in the forms of retreats, recollections, and youth encounters, etc. This is open to all mission partners and those who desire to experience God in prayer, silence, solitude, and contemplation. The life of our foundress, Saint Magdalene of Canossa, was a continuous longing to promote and spread the glory of God, and the ministry of spiritual exercises was the expression or is an expression of this yearning. This is very challenging, at times very hard to carry out the five branches or ministries of charity, and at times seems to be impossible. But in him, Saint Magdalene of Canossa discovered the God alone. In him, the unity of her contemplative life immersed in action. So our charism, which is the greatest love of Christ crucified, keeps us going. Continue to give us the strength to carry out the mission, because we know that it's not our own mission, but it's the mission of God. So we are only instruments of this love, and we are assured that God will never abandon us in this endeavor. And thank you very much, and that would be all. Thank you so much for listening. God bless you all.